Hey everyone, it's Gary here from Eye Opener Society alongside my wonderful partner Jennifer Miller, and thank you for joining us.
No,
It's
thanks for having me.
yeah, yeah, for sure, Jennifer. It's wonderful to have you back. It's wonderful to sit down here and record an episode together because I know it's been a while with all this struggles and everything else that I've been dealing with in my life, and it's been so hard to get an episode out. And now I'm recording no longer in my studio that I've been so comfortable in. However, I will say in this little apartment, the acoustics are perfect. And so as a podcaster, I just can't, thank that, the apartment enough for that. Perfect acoustics. Uh, but the
Don't lie, that's
audience,
the reason you got the apartment, right?
more than likely, yeah. I said, as soon as I walk in, I put on my podcast voice. I'm like, welcome to the Eye Opener Society. And that's what made me decide.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, I mean,
Pride.
I would love for it to be that way. No, but it was just a stroke of luck. The little bit of luck I had that this apartment was available and I was able to get it so fast. But hey, another bright side is the fact that it
Mm.
does have good acoustics. So I'm glad I'm sitting here listening to myself in the headset and I'm saying, wow, the acoustics really are good. So
A
here's the
little
thing. I
thing.
mean, yeah. So we've been talking a lot, you and and
Mhm.
I mean, it's great because we got a great connection together, and I really appreciate that so much. But I know it's been a while since we've been on the air and had a regular episode.
21 days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's longer than I normally go. Like I said, every Monday we try to have episodes out. But
Mhm.
we also have our live talk show that's going to be coming up in February. And that's something I know. Yeah, I'm hoping that works out good too, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. But this episode, because of all the trauma and chaos and strokes
Mm.
of bad luck that I've been having, I also spoke to you and I always pick up little things from you, and you, on most occasions, are always trying to say, "I'm figuring my life out," and I feel that from you, and that's good, because we all do. We all need to figure things out at times, whether it's our entire life or just figuring out the next hour. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we need to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't think trying to figure everything out like all at once is a good thing. I think, maybe taking some like time, like 15, 20 minutes, like a week and say, "Hey, like where do I want to be next week?" Like take little bits, like, baby steps. And I know people like make all these really big plans and then they find themselves like really disappointed and really upset because their expectations weren't met. And I think sometimes maybe lowering those expectations can help avoid getting like angry about things. But honestly, like me, I'm like a 1 week at a time type person. Like I have this planned out to do, and if I get that done, great. If I don't, well, that's next week's
Hmm.
adventure. But trying to figure stuff out is, I think, you know, it's beneficial to just have like somewhat of a small plan for yourself. If you don't have that, I think that you can feel very lost and very angry and have things pile up on you real quick. I mean, I know for myself that's my personal experience.
And we all go through these personal experiences. And I think people out there in the audience too, you probably sit and think, say, yeah, I got to figure out my life, or my life has been a disaster so far. Maybe I need to take another direction, no matter what it is. Because even me, it's like I gone through so much in a short period of time. And normally I'm pretty good with the sitting back, relaxing, meditating, and it passes. But when you get so much all at once, it builds up so much emotion. So even I need to step back, and I had to make phone calls and say, I need help, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um,
Yeah.
but that's also to help me figure out my life. Where am I going? What am I doing? I am a strictly live in the moment kind of person, but at the same time, there needs to be plans for the future. I have plans for this podcast. One of the big things is canceling the podcast and switching over, like I said, to a online meditative, spiritual kind of church, basically. Um, it's something I wanted to do. I almost did when I had third eye meditation, I was really thinking about just opening my own church. I was going to purchase a building and make it a church, but there was so much involved in that, especially on the nonprofit side. But where I intend to go in the next couple of years, where I'm going to move to, it's going to be surrounded by nature and there will be no escaping the nature. It's going to give me a nice base to sit and do the things I want to do. And as long as I got that internet connection, I could bring people into that space no matter where you are. This way, it should help others to relax and calm. And I could use my voice to bring you into, that calming state, sort of guided meditations. And oh, I got so many ideas, so many. But I can't do that if I don't figure out my life right now, if I don't pick up the little pieces that have broken in the past few months and all. So establishing ourselves again is not a bad thing. And I know when you and I talk, you present some problems you have, I'll tell you problems I have. And I take all of that in and I said, you know what, but we're still here. I still was able
That's
to flip
true.
on I was able to flip on the switch for Zoom and there you are. Here I am. We're still here, and regardless of what's going on, we're in the spot that we're in. We're in the present moment.
So I'm going to ask you a question. When
Sure.
you like move to your area and you go out into the woods, are you going to document everything, you know? You're going to document it just from the beginning, like what it looked like, bare bones, nothing, and then to where you are at that time, and then just keep documenting until you get to where you like feel like it's 100% like pristine, or are you just going to like, hey, this is it, you know?
Well, it's a little difficult because it's not all mine. There's other people involved with it. So I had taken some pictures of the property as it stands in its natural state. I know I got a few of those, and we don't know yet. Like I say, it's other people that are involved. Um, but my space, my place. Yeah, I mean, I'm one. I always take pictures anyway. I love doing that. I love the
Me
photography,
too.
and especially where I'm going, I can't wait to go back and take even more photographs and all. So yeah, that's definitely one idea. It'll take some time, to get it all together, but it's going to be life. I think life as it should be without all the distractions from the traffic and people and malls and television and all that stuff that gets so distracting. It's going to go back more to basics. And that's what I'm
Mhm.
looking for. As long as I got an internet connection, because the only reason for that is I want to bring my sense of peace out to others.
You said back to basics. I have a homesteading book called Back to Basics by Reader's Digest. I'm gonna have to find a copy and send it to you just
I
for
would
your
appreciate
special
that.
move. Like that would be awesome.
Yep.
Back to
Yeah.
basics. There's a lot of stuff you can learn from that, and I do like your vision on that. That like sounds very um just it sounds like a good vision, like a good goal, like a point for yourself to just reach for. I think that a lot of people need those types of things in their lives. Like, I have a goal that I'd like to meet next year and, work towards it. Or, in the next 5 years, reach towards that. I don't know if 5 years is a good standoff point. I know, like, during job interviews, they're like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And I'm always thinking, well, hopefully not in this job. Hopefully I've moved on. But you
Right.
don't want to say that because it sounds bad, but maybe a year or two, put goals for that amount of length,
Mhm.
that might be a more reasonable thing to reach.
Right. And it gives you that sense of accomplishment because you're making the
Oh,
smaller steps rather than the large ones. And I think
right.
it's the thing. It's like I look back and I say, oh, I've accomplished a lot. In the last 2 years, even, I've succeeded in doing the things I wanted to do for myself physically and mentally. And I've placed myself there. So I say, this is great. I've done all those things. So what's the next step? All I want at this point is to bring a sense of peace to myself and to my wife where there's way less to worry about. I want to worry about the things that like, oh, how long is this house going to take to get built? Where can I explore next on this property? Can I make my own clothes? Things like that. That's those are the only worries that I want out of my life. once I'm there, once I achieve that.
Mhm.
So there's a little bit of trials and tribulations that are going to lead up to it for sure. But once they're done, at least I know what the next step is.
Honestly, I think that's really like, I mean, it's awesome. I think you're actually on the right track for that, though. Like, from just talking to you and like things clearing up from everything that you've been going through and to where you're at now, I think I can honestly see that being parts of the steps, like your tribulations, you know. And I think that's a really good idea. Where do I see myself here in the future? I don't know. I'm still just trying to work through things, within myself because there's a lot of stuff going on up there. Um, but I think short-term goals, I think my garden is something I've been focusing on for myself. I mean, because I do the homesteading thing,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's not going very well, but it's in the process.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes those things that don't go too well are usually the most fun because even with each failure, you trying to achieve something just lets you learn something new and it places your mindset in a whole different, place where you can really focus in now and make it a determination. And I
Mhm.
get it. Yeah, things fail, but sometimes those failures are good things that are failing. They're not bad things that are failing. You don't want a bad situation to get worse. But a garden, hey, if you fail, that's not a problem. I always said if I was doing a garden, the first thing I would do, if nothing's growing except weeds, then I have a weed garden.
You might want to be careful how you word that.
I have a weed garden. It is what it is.
Um, actually, I've been gardening for a very long time. I have 3 gardens. It's more along the lines of I need to get off my butt and get paper and draw out where I'm putting everything. Because there's certain, like tomatoes have to be near certain things. They can't be near others. I mean, it's just that's where I'm stuck at. It's just trying to get the paper down and get all inventory of like all my seeds and just figure out where I'm placing everything at. And if I'm going to be building more arbors or stuff like that, just it's more of like the winter weather hermit, hibernation laziness has like gripped onto me and I just enjoying the relaxation and not trying to figure everything out. But yeah, I mean, I'll get there. Hopefully not the week before I start planting, but I'll get there.
Right.
It's always about the journey. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, we all have that journey, and it's good. It's focus. It's good for the mind.
Hmm.
Normally, me, especially me, with the winter too and the seasonal depression, I haven't gotten it yet. Mainly because I think in the last 3 months, I don't have time for that. I think all the emotional outbreaks was enough to satisfy the seasonal depression, and it completely canceled it out. And so that's a good way to think about it because,
So, like, do I need to tell your wife, hey, do some crazy stuff next year when the season starts changing? Like, just do something. It
yeah,
might help him.
it might. I
He's bloody
listen.
shows.
Yeah, it might because I haven't even thought about the seasonal depression. And a while back, just before the winter hit, Hannah and I we did this episode called "Seasonal Happiness" because it was just
Mm-hmm.
a change of thinking. Don't think seasonal depression, think seasonal happiness. While it wasn't really happiness that I've been experiencing, um, you could still say it was an adventure. It was just stroke of bad luck on everything. I was not directly involved. I was a victim of circumstances with everything that was going on, but it was an adventure and it kept my mind occupied, even though it was all negative stuff. But I still came out and it canceled out that seasonal depression because I don't sit here now sitting like I normally do, all bluesy in the winter. I'm actually sitting here thinking, wow, hey, I've gotten past a bunch of bad stuff and here I am. And the future is actually looking better. So, yeah, maybe things happen for
Maybe,
reasons like that.
maybe just find yourself some like a lot of stuff to do, like right around that time, like, like mark down the time when you just start making yourself real busy. I mean, hey, whatever works, works. I say go for it. Experiment. Next year might be, trial and error, but experiment, keep busy, keep moving, figure some things out,
Hmm.
and see if it helps.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's great advice for everybody figure out the things. Don't look into them too deeply. Yeah, you can, like me. You'll have breakdowns. Just make sure those breakdowns are small and you get the help right away. It picks you up right away. It'll whip you right back into reality, and you'll be able to handle it more. And I know everybody's built different. I can't speak for everybody, but look deep inside of your own, emotions, your own personality. No one knows you better than you do. So find those things that are going to pick you up, and you may even find things that pick you up that you never knew would pick you up.
Oh,
So
guilty
think about
pleasures.
yeah.
Pick me up. Oh, I'm guilty of this. I don't know if you're guilty of this, but reels, I that's like one of my guilty pleasures. I know, I send you a ton. And also, have you ever heard of ASMR? It's like sounds and on people like doing things with like crushing soap or mixing paint and stuff like that. For some reason, I get so soothed by those. And it's just a very much like a really good pick me up and it's really fast. So it's nothing like, you know, too involved. Like you can just click on your phone and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. You're
Mhm.
breaking some soap.
That's interesting. I did now. Yeah, I just didn't know there was a name for it, but
Yeah,
I've
I think it's
seen.
ASMR.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's let me see, like there's soaps, there's people that clean like patios with pressure washers. I really like that one too. I don't know why. Um, there's people that do like makeup stuff. They'll like pull the makeup out and put it in a bowl and mix it, or they'll actually restore the makeup, like if it's all like chunked up and messy. I mean, it's just about the sounds, I think, usually. Now, the ones where people are eating, I've thought of killing them three ways before they even get the first chomp done because that's gross. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But the little guilty pleasures of just those are very fast pick me ups, and I personally enjoy them. I mean, I don't know if other people do, but you know, some small like bite size advice from me.
There you go. That's all it takes sometimes. It really does. And like I said, everybody knows themselves. Go out there, figure it out what it is, and or what
Hmm.
whether it's listening to sounds, whether it's watching reels, whether it's meditation, whether it's being out in nature, no matter what it is, find those things. Um, it I The only thing I could think of with me with the past few months, this is how I used to be many years ago. Like I wasn't satisfied unless there was chaos going on around me. I always wanted to be the one to fix it all. So I'm able to get back into that a little bit more. It's not what I want to do anymore, but at least I know how to handle it now. It's just that my body's not ready for it anymore. It's not. So I just got to be careful because emotionally, we need to keep ourselves in check with that. That's the only thing. If you really do feel yourself going off the edge, seek help, call for help, talk to someone. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be strong. Understand that these things are going to happen. So Jennifer, I do. Yeah. If there's nothing else you want to add, I wanted to kind of cut this out, but
Oh, yeah,
show's
no,
still
go ahead.
yours.
That's good. I mean, the only thing I was gonna say is, you can't help, chemical imbalances sometimes, So I mean, like you say, reach out to people. Like that's the best advice. You know, sometimes there's things that you just cannot, they're beyond your control. And so, yeah, best advice.
Absolutely. So, Jennifer, I thank you again. I thank you for everything. I thank you for all of your spirited talks that we have. It means a lot to me. It really does. I wanted to tell you on a public forum. Thank you for that because it does. It helps and it helps me to adjust, to things that are going on. Sometimes I look forward to the reels that you send me and all, never feel like, you're sending too much of them.
I
And
always do. I'm like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, people are gonna they're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't stand her anymore. Please don't send anymore.
don't worry. If it gets overwhelming, I'll tell you. And I want to thank the audience too for standing by, for all the words of encouragement and all. It's been wonderful to have you guys as the audience. Every time you click that play button, it means something to me. It really does because this is just my outlet and I've been away from it for it wasn't that long, but still I did miss it and I wanted to get back on the air. So I want to thank you again to the audience for clicking play. I want to thank Ann Lund. I want to thank Elaine and Sunset Child for everything that they've done for this Eye Opener Society as well. And don't forget to find us here on eyeopenersociety.podbean.com, or you can find us on any platform, really, including YouTube. Just search Eye Opener Society, and you can even find us on Facebook under Eye Opener Society as well. So everybody take care, and thank you so much for tuning in.